Strength is not given, it is built. Weakness is not inborn, it is cultivated through attachment, fear, and dependence on things beyond our control. Every woman at some point faces moments where she feels powerless, where emotions overwhelm, where judgment stings, where comfort becomes a trap. But is this weakness real? Weakness is not something we are born with, it is something we create through attachment. From the moment we enter the world, we begin forming connections to people, to ideas, to possessions, to emotions. These attachments shape our experiences, but they also make us vulnerable. The more we cling to something, the more power it has over us. And when we define ourselves by things outside our control, we create the very weakness we seek to avoid. A woman who ties her worth to the opinions of others will find herself constantly at their mercy. If she is praised, she feels valued. If she is criticized, she feels unworthy. But this is an illusion. Her value does not increase when others approve, nor does it decrease when they disapprove. It remains the same, regardless of external judgment. The only thing that changes is her perception. And yet, many live their lives trapped in this cycle, chasing validation, fearing rejection, and allowing others to dictate their sense of self. The same is true of emotional attachments, love, friendship, family. These are beautiful aspects of life, but when they become the foundation of identity, they turn into weaknesses. If a woman believes she cannot be happy without the love of another, she has given someone else control over her peace. If she depends on the constant presence of others to feel secure, she has made herself fragile. True strength comes not from rejecting love, but from embracing it without dependence. To love deeply yet remain whole without it, that is mastery. Material possessions, status, and success are other sources of attachment that create weakness. Society teaches that a woman's worth is measured by what she owns, how she looks, or what she achieves. But these things are fleeting. Beauty fades, wealth can be lost, and success is never permanent. If identity is built on these unstable foundations, then life becomes a constant struggle to maintain what cannot be held forever. And when the inevitable happens, when change arrives, when loss occurs, the woman who has tied herself to these things will feel as though she is falling apart. But the truth is, nothing outside ourselves can truly belong to us. Not people, not things, not even the emotions that pass through us. Everything is temporary. The Stoic woman understands this and refuses to let attachment weaken her. She enjoys what comes, but does not despair when it goes.
But Vadum, with work, does she go?
She loves without possession. She succeeds without arrogance. She faces loss without breaking. Because she knows that nothing external defines her. The greatest illusion of all is the belief that we can control what is not ours to control. We grasp at things, trying to hold them steady, trying to force the world to bend to our desires. And when it does not, we suffer. But suffering is not in the event itself. It is in our resistance to it. A woman who expects life to be stable will be shaken by every change. A woman who expects people to always be kind will be wounded by cruelty. A woman who expects control over things outside herself will feel weak when life refuses to comply. The solution is not to avoid connection, nor to stop caring. It is to shift where we place our power. A woman who understands that her worth does not come from others will never beg for approval. A woman who knows she can stand alone will never fear abandonment. A woman who recognizes that possessions, beauty, and success are temporary will never be broken when they fade. And a woman who masters her mind, rather than the world around her, will never feel powerless again. This is not a rejection of life's joys, but a deeper appreciation of them. When we do not cling, we are free to experience without fear. When we do not depend, we are free to love without desperation. And when we do not resist change, we are free to move through life with grace. A weak point exists only where we place attachment. But when we remove the illusion of need, we remove the illusion of weakness, and what remains is something unshakable, something no person, no loss, no change can ever take away. Emotions are not the enemy, but they must be mastered. Hang on, too often, people believe that strength comes from suppressing emotions, from acting as if feelings do not exist. But this is not true mastery, it is avoidance. Stoicism does not teach that emotions should be ignored, nor does it claim that feeling deeply is a sign of weakness. Instead, it teaches that emotions must be understood, controlled, and used wisely, rather than allowing them to dictate one's action. A woman who is ruled by her emotions is easily swayed by the world around her. If she is praised, she feels joy. If she is insulted, she feels despair. If things go according to plan, she is confident. If life takes an unexpected turn, she falls apart. This kind of dependence on emotional highs and lows creates instability. It means her peace is not her own. It belongs to circumstances, to the actions of others, to fleeting events. True power lies not in denying emotions, but in developing the ability to feel them without being controlled by them. Consider anger. Many believe anger is a sign of strength, that standing up for oneself means responding with force. But anger is a fire that burns not only the target but also the person holding it. It clouds judgment, leads to rash decisions, and often causes more harm than good. A woman who has mastered herself does not allow anger to dictate her action. She may feel it, but she does not let it control her. She chooses how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. This is real strength. The same is true for sadness. There are moments in life that will bring grief, disappointment, and heartache. To feel sadness is natural, but to drown in it is a choice. A Stoic woman allows herself to experience emotions, but she does not let them consume her. She does not wallow in self-pity, nor does she let loss define her. Instead, she accepts that pain is a part of life, that suffering is temporary, and that her ability to endure is far greater than she once believed. She acknowledges sadness, but she does not become it. Fear is another emotion that can either be a tool or a trap. Fear warns us of danger, but it also holds us back when we allow it to control us. A woman who fears judgment will hesitate to speak her mind. A woman who fears failure will never take risks. A woman who fears change will cling to what no longer serves her. But fear is only powerful when we let it stop us. The moment we face what we are afraid of, we strip it of its power. A Stoic woman does not avoid fear. She confronts it, knowing that growth only happens on the other side of discomfort. Even love, one of the most powerful emotions, must be approached with wisdom. Love can bring great joy, but when it turns into dependence, it becomes a weakness. A woman who believes she needs another person to be happy has given them control over her emotional state. But a woman who loves freely, without attachment, without possession, is unshakable. She does not cling, she does not fear loss, and she does not seek completion in another. She knows she is already whole. The key to mastering emotions is detachment, not from feeling, but from being ruled by feelings. A woman who is emotionally disciplined does not deny her experiences, but she also does not let them dictate her life. She recognizes that emotions are temporary, that they pass like clouds in the sky, and that her true self remains untouched by the storm. She chooses her response rather than being led blindly by impulse. Many believe that to be emotional is to be weak, but this is not true. True weakness is being enslaved by emotions, allowing them to dictate decisions without reason. True strength is being able to experience emotions deeply, yet remain in control of one's actions. A woman who has mastered her emotions is calm in chaos, steady in uncertainty, and fearless in adversity. She does not suppress, she does not deny. She simply owns her mind, rather than letting her mind own her. This is the path to unshakable strength. To feel everything but to be controlled by nothing. To embrace emotions but never be their prisoner. To live freely, powerfully, and with complete self-mastery. Fear of judgment is a prison, yet so many willingly step inside and lock the door behind them. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval. A kind word, a nod of acceptance, a reassuring glance. These become signals that we are safe, that we are liked, that we belong. And so, we learn to shape ourselves according to the expectations of others, bending, adjusting, hiding parts of who we are in exchange for approval. But what is the cost of this? The cost is freedom. A woman who lives in fear of judgment is never truly free. Every action, every word, every choice is filtered through an invisible lens. Will they approve? Will they like me? Will they accept me? She hesitates before speaking, second guesses before acting, and limits herself out of fear that she might offend, disappoint, or be rejected. This is not strength. This is self-imposed captivity. The reality is, no matter what one does, there will always be judgment. A woman who speaks her mind will be called bold. A woman who stays silent will be called weak. A woman who pursues success will be called ambitious, perhaps even ruthless. A woman who prioritizes a quiet life will be called unmotivated. A woman who follows tradition will be judged, and so will a woman who defies it. There is no escape from judgment because people will always have opinions. And those opinions are shaped not by truth, but by their own perspectives, biases, and limitations. To allow such fleeting, ever-changing opinions to dictate one's life is to surrender control to forces that are not even real. Consider how much time and energy is wasted on worrying about what others think. How many dreams are left unpursued because of the fear of criticism? How many words remain unspoken because of the fear of disapproval? How many women shrink themselves, dull their shine, and suppress their potential because they have been conditioned to believe that standing out is dangerous? The irony is, even if one does everything right, judgment will still come. There is no winning this game, so the only solution is to stop playing it. A Stoic woman understands this. She does not seek validation from the world because she knows the world is inconsistent. She does not shape herself according to the expectations of others because she knows expectations change. Instead, she remains true to herself, holding firm to her values, her principles, and her own sense of worth. She does not ask, "Do they approve?" She asks, "Do I approve of myself?" This does not mean she becomes arrogant or dismissive of others, nor does it mean she stops listening to feedback. A wise woman welcomes constructive criticism, but she knows the difference between genuine guidance and baseless judgment. She takes in what is useful and discards what is not. She does not let the noise of the crowd drown out her own voice. The fear of judgment is deeply rooted in the need for acceptance. It is human nature to want to belong, to be liked, to be embraced by the tribe. But true belonging does not come from molding oneself into what others expect. It comes from being authentic. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences will align with those who stand firm in their truth. The more one tries to please everyone, the more one loses themselves in the process. Think of history's greatest women, leaders, thinkers, revolutionaries, artists, and warriors. None of them were free from judgment. Many were criticized, ridiculed, even attacked for daring to be different. But they did not let fear of opinion silence them. They understood that the only way to truly live is to be unapologetically oneself. And in the end, it is not the approval of the masses that defines a legacy. It is the courage to stand firm in one's truth, regardless of who is watching. A woman who is no longer afraid of judgment becomes unstoppable. She does not seek permission to exist, to dream, to speak, or to take up space. She does not live for the approval of strangers. She chooses her own path, knowing that true strength is not found in being liked by all, but in being true to oneself, no matter the cost. True power lies in detachment from the uncontrollable. The more we try to grasp what is beyond our control, the more we suffer. We wish to control how others treat us, how situations unfold, how life rewards our efforts. But the reality is that most things are not in our hands. A woman who ties her happiness to things she cannot command will always feel powerless because she has placed her well-being in the hands of fate. A Stoic woman understands that the only thing she truly owns is herself, her thoughts, her actions, her responses. Everything else is external. She may love deeply, but she does not try to possess. She may strive for success, but she does not tie her worth to outcomes. She may wish for kindness, loyalty, and justice, but she does not expect the world to always give these to her. She does what is right because it is right, not because she demands a particular result. This is the essence of detachment, to engage fully with life, yet not be ruled by it. Many suffer because they cling to illusions of control. They believe that if they say the right words, they can make someone love them. If they work hard enough, they are guaranteed success. If they are kind, others will treat them well in return. But life does not follow these rules. Sometimes love is not reciprocated. Sometimes effort goes unrewarded. Sometimes kindness is met with cruelty. The woman who is attached to expectations will feel devastated when reality does not match her desires. She will feel betrayed, disappointed, and lost, not because life is cruel, but because she believed it should be otherwise. Detachment does not mean not caring. It means caring without attachment to the outcome. It means loving freely without expecting something in return. It means working hard, not because success is guaranteed, but because effort itself is meaningful. It means treating others with respect, not because we demand kindness in return, but because our character is not dependent on how others behave. Detachment frees us from suffering because it teaches us to focus only on what we can control. Imagine a woman who loses a friendship she cherished. If she is attached, she will be devastated, believing that she cannot be happy without that connection. But if she is detached, she will grieve the loss without letting it define her. She will understand that people come and go, that relationships shift, and that she is still whole, regardless of who stays or leaves. She will honor what was, accept what is, and continue forward without bitterness or regret. The same applies to success and failure. A woman who is too attached to achievement will fear failure so much that she might never take risks. She will hesitate, hold herself back, and become paralyzed by the idea of making mistakes. But a woman who understands detachment sees failure as just another part of life. She does her best, but she does not fear the outcome. She knows that effort is in her control, but results are not. She accepts both success and failure with the same steady heart. Many people confuse detachment with coldness or indifference, but they are not the same. Detachment is freedom, not apathy. It allows a woman to love fully, to dream boldly, to act with courage, because she is not afraid. She does not hold on to things that do not belong to her, nor does she resist the natural flow of life. She understands that attachment is what makes people weak, not emotions, not ambition, not passion. When we need nothing outside of ourselves to be at peace, we become truly strong. The world is unpredictable, people change, plans fail, loss is inevitable. But the woman who has learned the art of detachment remains unshaken. She moves through life with grace, resilience, and quiet confidence, knowing that nothing external defines her. She owns her thoughts, she owns her actions, and that is enough. Resolutions is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it with strength and clarity. Many believe that a strong woman is one who never struggles, never falls, never breaks, but this is a misunderstanding of true strength. A Stoic woman does not seek to avoid pain, she accepts it as part of life. She understands that challenges are not obstacles to happiness, but opportunities to grow, to test her discipline, to refine her mind, and to become stronger than she was before. Suffering is inevitable. No matter how carefully one plans, no matter how much effort is given to creating a perfect life, hardship will come. There will be loss, betrayal, disappointment, and setbacks. A woman who fears these things will constantly live in anxiety, trying to shield herself from reality. But a woman who embraces Stoicism welcomes difficulty as her teacher. She does not wish for an easy life. She wishes for the strength to handle whatever life brings. She does not see adversity as an enemy, but as a test of character. And so, when suffering arrives, she does not collapse, she rises. This does not mean she does not feel pain. It does not mean she does not grieve. does not struggle, does not face moments of doubt. What sets her apart is that she does not identify with these feelings. She experiences them, but she does not become them. When faced with heartbreak, she does not tell herself, "I am broken." When faced with failure, she does not say, "I am worthless." She understands that these are temporary moments, not defining truths. She allows herself to feel, to process, to learn, and then she moves forward, wiser, stronger, and even more resilient than before. One of the greatest tools for resilience is perspective. A Stoic woman does not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, she asks, "What can I learn from this?" Every hardship carries a lesson. Pain teaches endurance, failure teaches humility, betrayal teaches discernment, change teaches adaptability. A woman who understands this does not waste energy wishing things were different. She uses what is in front of her to become better. Many people crumble under hardship because they believe suffering is unfair. They resist it, fight against it, demand that life be different, but resistance only deepens suffering. The woman who expects life to always be kind will be devastated when it is not. The woman who expects people to always be loyal will be shattered when they betray her. The woman who expects only comfort will never develop the endurance needed to thrive in discomfort. A Stoic woman, however, expects difficulty. She does not seek it, but she does not fear it either. She understands that pain is not a punishment, it is part of the human experience. And when she accepts this truth, she becomes indestructible. Imagine a woman who loses everything, her job, her home, her security. An ordinary person might fall into despair, believing they have lost their worth. But a Stoic woman sees it differently. She understands that while she has lost material things, she has not lost herself. Her skills remain, her discipline remains, her ability to rebuild remains. She does not waste time mourning what is gone. She focuses on what she can do next. This is the power of resilience, the ability to stand firm when everything around you collapses. The same applies to relationships. If a woman's happiness depends entirely on another person, she will suffer when that person leaves. But a woman who understands resilience knows that love is beautiful, yet not something to cling to with desperation. She loves deeply but does not fear loss. She understands that people change, that connections shift, and that she is whole with or without another. And so, when heartbreak comes, she grieves, but she does not break. She lets go without bitterness and moves forward, knowing that her happiness was never dependent on someone else. It was always within her. Resilience is not about being unaffected by pain. It is about not letting pain define you. It is about standing strong in the storm, knowing that even if everything is taken away, your mind, your will, your strength remain. A Stoic woman does not ask for an easier life. She asks for the strength to handle whatever comes. She does not seek comfort. She seeks endurance. She does not fear hardship. She welcomes it as an opportunity to prove herself. And because of this, nothing can break her. Self-mastery is the highest form of power, and the woman who controls herself controls her entire world. Too often, people seek power in external things, money, status, influence, believing that dominance over others is the key to strength. But true power does not come from what is outside, it comes from what is within. A woman who masters herself does not need approval, does not crave validation, and does not fear loss, because she understands that everything she needs is already within her. Self-mastery begins with the mind. Thoughts are the foundation of action, and a woman who cannot control her thoughts will find herself at the mercy of impulse, fear, and doubt. Many people allow their minds to be dictated by circumstance. They are happy when things go well, and miserable when things do not. They let emotions dictate their choices, reacting instead of responding. But a Stoic woman does not let her mind be tossed around by external events. She trains herself to think clearly, to remove emotion from decision-making, and to respond with reason rather than impulse. This does not mean she is emotionless. She feels deeply, but she does not let her feelings control her. When she is angry, she acknowledges it, but she does not let anger dictate her words or actions. When she is sad, she allows herself to feel it, but she does not sink into self-pity. When she is afraid, she faces her fear instead of running from it. She is in control of her emotions, not the other way around. Discipline is another pillar of self-mastery. Many people wish for success, happiness, or strength, but few are willing to discipline themselves to achieve it. They seek motivation, but motivation is fleeting. A Stoic woman does not rely on motivation. She relies on discipline. She does what must be done whether she feels like it or not. She does not make excuses, she does not seek comfort, and she does not allow laziness to weaken her. Her actions are guided by principle, not by mood. Consider a woman who wants to become physically strong. If she waits to feel like training, she will never achieve her goal. But if she disciplines herself to train regardless of how she feels, she will grow stronger each day. The same applies to the mind. A woman who disciplines her thoughts, who trains herself to remain calm under pressure, who chooses reason over reaction, becomes mentally unshakable. Self-mastery also means mastering one's desires. Many people chase pleasure, believing that happiness lies in indulgence. They seek distractions, temporary highs, and external validation to fill the emptiness they feel inside. But a Stoic woman understands that true fulfillment comes from within. She does not need excess, she does not crave attention, and she does not depend on others to make her feel worthy. She enjoys life, but she is not enslaved by her desires. She eats for nourishment, not for emotional comfort. She seeks knowledge, not mindless entertainment. She enjoys love, but she does not need another to complete her. Control over oneself is the greatest form of freedom. A woman who is a slave to her emotions, her desires, or the opinions of others is never truly free. She is controlled by impulses, by reactions, by the shifting tides of external events. But a woman who masters herself is free from all of this. She is not affected by gossip because she does not seek validation. She is not broken by loss because she does not cling to what she cannot control. She is not ruled by fear because she has faced her own darkness and emerged stronger. Self-mastery is not something one is born with. It is something that is built, tested, and strengthened over time. It is developed through discipline, through hardship, through challenges that force one to grow. A Stoic woman does not fear struggle because she understands that every challenge is an opportunity to refine herself. She does not avoid discomfort because she knows that comfort breeds weakness. She does not seek an easy life because she knows that strength is forged in fire. The ultimate goal of self-mastery is inner peace. A woman who controls herself is unshakable. She does not react emotionally to insults or criticism. She does not waste energy on things she cannot change. She does not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. She moves through life with calm, confidence, and absolute certainty in herself. This is true power. Not control over others, but control over oneself. Not dominance over the world, but dominance over one's own mind. A Stoic woman does not seek power. She becomes power, and because of this, nothing and no one can ever take it from her.